Okay, so what are you here for?
You're absolutely right about Pontius Pilate.
Whoa, where are you going?
No, wait.
The camera's over here.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking to him. You're absolutely
And I want to say also, I've been interviewing people the whole time I've been here. And I even went across the street and I talked to the Antifa guys, who were fun. And if there's anybody else who'd like to talk to me before we disperse, I'd love to hear from you. You'll be able to spot me really easily in the crowd because I'm the tall, goofy-looking guy.
Okay, so we're here at the pro-Trump rally, here at the steps of the State House in Boston. And this is a crazy scenario, so I'm just going to pan real quick. Over here, we've got like a lone Antifa guy. He's very animated. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of spirit. I give him an A for effort, but he's all alone. And then around us, so just real quick, we're going to take a look. Nice big crowd here, a lot of Trump supporters, including, what's your name, ma'am?
Mary Pavlonis.
Mary, why do you support Trump?
I've supported Trump since the very beginning, actually his first run in 2012, which lost steam, because he was saying all the things that we were feeling, and he had the guts to say what we were thinking and feeling, that this country was going down a road that we weren't going to come back from, and that what built this country, the values, the morals, we needed to get back to that. We needed to start enforcing our laws. And I am all for legal immigration. We're all for legal immigration. My ancestors are legal immigrants. And what the left is doing, and what the left tried to do through that whole election, was to take the words and twist them. They twist them so that they fit their agenda, but he was speaking from the heart. I went to his rallies. They were all unscripted, from the heart, and he woke up something in this country.
I'm here because we need more Republicans in office, and Trump's movement represents the push that we need to get that, because Democrats have shown they side against our gun rights, our free speech, us keeping our money, and supporting legal immigrants and citizens here. Anything that is against America, they're for, pretty much.
Why did you show up today?
Well, two purposes: to support Trump and Shiva running for Dr. Shiva running for U.S. Senate against Warren.
Shiva for Senate.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take them in order then. Why do you like Trump?
Well, he has done everything right so far.
And what about Shiva? Why do you like him?
Because he supports Trump.
So you said you're here working with one of the campaigns. Which campaign is it?
Yes, Jeff Deal is running against Elizabeth Warren for U.S. Senate. He's running as a Republican. He is a Massachusetts representative from Whitman, Massachusetts, my original hometown.
Okay.
I've known him for 8 years, worked with him on the gas tax initiative when we were going to get an automatic gas tax to go up every year.
Right.
He started that fight to repeal that, and it won in a state that was a bipartisan issue. He's worked really hard for the people of Massachusetts, and I'm so proud to represent him. He was part of the Trump committee here. He worked really hard for Trump in Massachusetts, and I know that when he goes down to Washington in November, that he will work really hard for us too, and I'm so proud. But thank you so much for your time. God bless.
God bless you too. You're a Trump supporter, I take it?
Yes, I am.
Why do you support Trump?
Because I think that he's doing a great job. The first year of his presidency, he's accomplished a lot. He's trying to keep all his promises to his base, and that's good. That's really good for me.
The reason I voted for Trump is because he is one of the only candidates that was pro-life, and I could not vote for Hillary. Lock her up is an understatement. I couldn't vote for her.
Well, the economy, national security, immigration for sure. The tax cuts are pretty huge. Rolling back some of the Obamacare stuff is big. It's really big.
They want girls in the boys' room. They want trannies. Did you hear about trannies when you were in grade school? No, because we had a normal country. Cultural Marxism seeks to break down what's normal in society and bring everything garbage out. So straight white men are no longer okay. You got to have gay, transgender, blah, 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 and flood the system with it. That's why we have all this bullshit going on with 54 genders. There's 2 genders. It's determined by your sex, not some bullshit Marxist terms coming up in the Frankfurt School back in the 30s.
I like Trump because he's doing this to save America. He isn't making money by being president. He isn't getting more famous. He already was. He's doing this because he saw the nation was in danger, and he's trying to take it back.
I like what he says. Build a wall, keep us safe.
Number one is tax break. Number two, immigration on merit base, that we support.
Right.
As part of Indian community, we are supporting merit-based immigration.
Who rated an F on public integrity, and that's over here. Now, contrast that to the people who actually have made Massachusetts #1. It's the nerds down at MIT, believe it or not. It's a high-tech blue-collar workers like Frank.
So we're across the street from the Trump rally with, what's your name, sir?
Jose.
Jose?
Yes.
Okay, so we heard you shouting some things from across the street. It seems like
I shot it very clear. The guy come with a limousine, like so disconnected from reality. If you really want to bring people to vote for you, at least identify with the needs of the community. You come with a huge limousine, which is nobody inside but the candidate, and it's like just like what, 20 people in there. That's really disconnected from reality. So I do believe that either the politicians are really disconnected from the reality of the need of this country, or they live in another world.
Right. So now, are you a Trump supporter or a Trump detractor?
I'm sorry. I'm never gonna be supporting any kind of behavior like Trump. No.
So what is it that what does Trump do that you dislike?
Well, for example, he attacks everybody who, according to him, is Mexican, even though there are many countries. Second, he's a person with that kind of arrogancy. I mean, at least be humble and stand up for honesty, and at least you're gonna gain some people who will agree with you. But if you go to the extreme and like, no, you know, or you are with me against me, that's a really like bad behavior for the nation.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you, where are you from?
Cambridge. No, actually, yeah, Cambridge. Yeah.
I mean, where were you born?
Cambridge.
You were not born in Cambridge.
No, I wasn't born in Cambridge. I'm from Cambridge, though.
Yeah, but where were you born, though? I guess
that's a top secret. If he wanna find out, he need to work hard.
Well, okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you been in the U.S. for a long time?
Yes.
And do you find that people here are pretty accepting? I mean, do you like it here? Or
no, I do like it. I mean, don't get me
here?
wrong. I am a person who do support freedom of expression.
Yeah.
More than ever. I do reject the extreme of both sides.
Gotcha.
You know, because I mean, you go to the extreme far left, you're gonna find only like they wanna impose a dictatorship, like a, you know, communist, socialist, whatever the hell.
Gotcha.
And if you go to the extreme far right, you're gonna find only what people allow, and some few, like I'm counted by fingers on the hands, you know. But basically, it's about only white people, like Trump said. We wish only Norwegians were moving to the United States. So I don't support extremism. I do support the right of people to express and vote and choose if they want a Republican or Democrats. It's fine, but make sense.
Yeah.
Like support, you know, the needs of people. How many people really are pissed off because the kind of job that they have is the kind of job that doesn't wake them up on time and say, you know what the hell, I'm gonna take shower today happily because there is a job waiting for me that pays the minimum wage that I really makes me feel like I love the job.
Gotcha.
That's not happening.
And you think Trump doesn't care about those people?
Basically, I will say, like, you see the 25% tax, right, that he imposing on the steels. So
they're
there is a lot of people who work in the factories, and their rusty bill are where the people are gonna get affected the most, because European unions are gonna try to pay back in the same way.
Oh, okay,
You know?
so you think that would kick off like a trade war?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter.
Gotcha. What?
Shame
why
on
do you dislike
you.
Donald Trump?
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on
You think Donald Trump is a
Shame
fag?
on you! Shame on you!
What do you think he's really doing with Putin?
Shame on you!
He has a very good-looking wife, though. I
For
mean,
being
it
a
seems like kind of a
racist!
waste.
For being
You know how he feels
fascist!
about women.
Yeah. So that's why you don't like Donald Trump, because you suspect he's a homosexual?
No, I didn't say that.
This is a
If you're
very
not
vocal.
anti-fascist, you're pro-fascist. It's common sense,
There you go.
basic English.
I was just on the other side of the street talking to the Antifa. Some of them were.
Well, well, you were talking to them. I noticed they tried to censor you at first, though. How did that go?
They did. Well, one of them told me that if I kept filming him, he'd break my camera, which I thought was a weird way to do public outreach.
That sounds like Antifa.
And he also called me a neo-Nazi.
Interesting. Well, you do have the look, but it's all right. I know you're not.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
If I don't want it broken, that's very threatening, man. Why would you threaten me? I just came over.
I'm not PC.
You're out here today. You want to be seen. You want to be heard. I'm trying to help people see you and hear you.
I don't want your neo-Nazi buddies to see me in here.
I'm not a neo-Nazi. I promise
you. Are, and I have asked you multiple times not to record me.
I'm just
so
making
if I see it, I will be suing you.
I'm making a YouTube video. I can't wait to hear from your lawyers, man.
I do not give
You don't even know what is the fascist.
Well, I'm
And
going
that's why
to
you are
anyway.
so
What are you going
brainwashed.
to do about it? I've been talking to those Antifa guys over there and learning a lot about your movement, and learned a lot about that from them about the pro-Trump movement. So I guess what I want to ask you is, how long have you been a neo-Nazi?
Oh, am I a neo-Nazi?
Yeah. Because I
Probably negative 24 years,
I heard from
6 months,
What are you talking
and
about?
22 days.
I just heard from Antifa that everybody over here is a fascist and a
That's
Nazi.
the,
So
the all right,
are you
Antifa-
telling me they were lying to me?
Antifa is funded by a corporate mega bank run by George Soros, JP Morgan, many other corporate conglomerates. And what they do is they have strict talking points from a book written way back in the 30s. You know, back in Germany, before when Hitler was coming to power, the communists and the Nazis were fighting each other.
Right.
And they didn't really finish the fight, so they're trying to pick a fight with the wrong people. You know, the
It
neo-Nazi
seems like
crowd
if
of
they
the
didn't-
80s, dude, they're dead. They're in jail.
We've got a guy across the street. He's got a flag that says anti-fascist action.
Oh yeah, the Antifa. Yeah.
Now, do you identify as a fascist?
Absolutely not.
Now, there was a guy across the street with a flag that says anti-fascist action.
Yep.
So, do you identify as a fascist?
No way. We are minority. We are Indians.
We got people of all races, religions, and creeds here, and they look at them. They have one guy who, yeah, he looks maybe Brazilian, but for the most part, they're pretty much a homogenous group. I think it's kind of funny how the mostly white group is calling the diverse group the KKK and skinheads.
That is kind of weird, isn't it?
I'll tell you why they think I'm a neo-Nazi. Let me tell you why they think I'm a neo-Nazi.
Yeah, I'd
Maybe
love to
you'll
hear
understand.
that. Yeah.
Because I have representatives in my state, or the Commonwealth, that are telling me that they want to make Martha's Vineyard, where I live, a sanctuary island. They want to import people based on skin color with, like, who knows what their skills are, who knows what their IQ are, to take jobs from me, my children, people in my family. If you tell me that's not a genocide, I don't know what is. And if I'm going to stand up for my people, they're going to call me a Nazi, then that's their problem, not mine, because I'm still standing up to representatives who are seeking to ethnically cleanse Massachusetts.
So this is Ted Busiek. Welcome. It is, I'm so happy. How do you come a little bit? Yeah. This will be,
I'm not gonna spit or drool on you, it's okay.
this will be like story time in kindergarten. Come on, guys. Come close. Come close. Close. Come on. Did you here go to CPAC this year? Anybody? No? There we go. Patrick did. There was a very embarrassing incident at this year's CPAC. What? What's that? Which one, Patrick says? There were so many. The one that I'm thinking of is that one of the most gifted and brilliant leading lights of the European right, a French woman named Marion Maréchal Le Pen, was invited to attend the conference this year and give a speech.
Kind of like I was invited to come here today and talk to you, except in her case she had to cross the Atlantic. She had to speak in English, which is her second language. But it was an invitation she very graciously accepted. Also invited to this year's CPAC was the columnist Mona Sharon, who was asked to participate in a panel discussion on conservative women. Appallingly, she used that platform as an opportunity to viciously attack and slander Marion Le Pen, saying that CPAC's having invited Marion was, quote, a disgrace, and claiming that one of Marion's grandfathers was a Nazi. Now, not only was this untrue, this was actually the polar opposite of what was true. In point of fact, of Marion's two grandfathers, one of them was a Gaullist, and the other one attempted to join the French resistance, but was turned down because he was only 16 years old. He was just a teenager during the war, but he still tried to sign up to fight for the French. The spectacle of the graceful and beautiful Marion graciously traveling across the Atlantic, only to have her family viciously and hatefully defamed by the twisted and ugly Mona Sharon from a stage at the very conference that Marion came here to attend, was a supreme embarrassment for the organizers of CPAC and also for our movement. And yet, if CPAC's organizers had only been willing to be honest with themselves, this mortifying incident could have been predicted and avoided, because Mona Sharon has been open about her hatred of us and her hatred for our movement for a long time. She's been hurling the most hateful and spiteful invective at us for years now, from the pages of the National Review and the Boston Globe and Jewish World Review. So why was she invited to CPAC? The reason she was invited to CPAC was because the Pharisees of the mainstream media, for whom she plays the role of controlled opposition, told us that she is, quote-unquote, a conservative. And rather than contradict this ridiculous pretense, which all of us know is not true, we went along with it. We played along because, like Pilate, we just thought it was more convenient to choose to play along. I know everybody's freezing, so I'll just do one more little story and then I'm done. I'm out of here, I promise, and I love you guys. I appreciate you for listening to me. Most of you probably know who Congressman Stephen Lynch is, right? I would say that of Massachusetts' whole congressional delegation, he's probably the most grounded, reasonable member. He's really, I would say that Stephen Lynch is maybe the last of an almost extinct species, which is down-to-earth Democrats. Stephen Lynch has a primary opponent this year, who is a man named John Flint. Now, John Flint is a cross-dresser. He's a transgender. He grows his hair long. He wears women's clothing. He goes by the alias Brianna Wu. Every one of us, in our hearts and minds, we know that this transgenderism stuff is just another lie being told to us. We know, of course, that Brianna Wu and men like him are not actually women. We know that. And yet, I've noticed that journalists and newscasters and even ostensibly right-wing commentators, when they discuss Brianna Wu, they refer to him as she and her. We know this is just more gaslighting from exactly the same people who have been gaslighting us since Pilate's day. But like Pontius Pilate, we reckon that the safest thing to do is to go along with it. Folks, we are not going to make America great again by going along with these lies, by playing along with the lies of America's enemies. So this is a very dreary speech, but I'll give you some good news. The good news is that we don't have to do that. We don't have to lie to each other. We don't have to lie to ourselves. We don't have to lie about reality. We are living through the American perestroika right now. This is the time when all the lies that they've told, all the taboos against honesty that they've enforced, all of those things are wilting away. But we have to rise to the occasion. Thank you for listening.
Do you feel like you find a lot of simpatico people being a Trump supporter in Massachusetts?
Sure. Maybe not openly, you know, there's a lot of not so obvious support. You know, the president in his manner sometimes makes it a little difficult to have to defend yourself amongst all of the liberals in Massachusetts in particular, but, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people that support the president in Massachusetts.
Remember to like and subscribe.
That's awesome.